Blind design. A final confound problem is bias. Participants may bias an experiment's results by trying to please or help the experimenter. In a therapy experiment, for example, if those participants who receive the treatment know the purpose of the study and which group they are in, they might actually work harder to feel better or fulfill the experimenter's expectations. If so, subject, or participant, bias rather than therapy could be causing their improvement. To avoid this bias, experimenters can prevent participants from finding out which group they are in. This experimental strategy is called a blind design because the individuals are blind as to their assigned group. In a therapy study, for example, control participants could be given a placebo, Latin for, "I shall please," something that looks or tastes like real therapy but has none of its key ingredients. This imitation therapy is called placebo therapy. If the experimental, true therapy, participants then improve more than the control, placebo therapy, participants, experimenters have more confidence that the true therapy has caused their improvement. An experiment may also be confounded by experimenter bias, that is, experimenters may have expectations that they unintentionally transmit to the participants in their studies. In a drug therapy study, for example, the experimenter might smile and act confident while providing real medications to the experimental participants but frown and appear hesitant while offering placebo drugs to the control participants. This kind of bias is sometimes referred to as the Rosenthal effect, after the psychologist who first identified it, Rosenthal, 1966. Experimenters can eliminate their own bias by arranging to be blind themselves. In a drug therapy study, for example, an aide could make sure that the real medication and the placebo drug look identical. The experimenter could then administer treatment without knowing which participants were receiving true medications and which were receiving false medications. While either the participants or the experimenter may be kept blind in an experiment, it is best that both be blind. A research strategy called a double-blind design. In fact, most medication experiments now use double-blind designs to test promising drugs. Pratley, Fleck, and Wilson, 2014, Wender et al., 2011. Many experimenters also arrange for judges to assess the patient's improvement independently, and the judges, too, are blind to group assignments. This strategy is called a triple-blind design. Random assignment, a selection procedure that ensures that participants are randomly placed either in the control group or in the experimental group. Blind design, an experiment in which participants do not know whether they are in the experimental or the control condition. Placebo therapy, a pretend treatment that the participant in an experiment believes to be genuine. Double-blind design, experimental procedure in which neither the participant or the experimenter knows whether the participant has received the experimental treatment or a placebo.